together in 2009 go to the United Nations and submit a claim to the United Nations Commission on the limits of the continental shelf to get permission, to get authority from the United Nations Commission to extend their respective territorial waters into the South China Sea. Malaysia and Vietnam take to the United Nations a kind of plan to split the water between the Philippines and Malaysia, divide it up between the two, and to get authorization from the UN for this legal claim for the water between the Philippines, between Vietnam and Malaysia. China launches a furious objection to this plan. China complains that Vietnam and Malaysia have no right to do this. China completely opposes the United Nations ever making a ruling on this question. And over Chinese objections, the procedure gets brought to a halt. It turns out that the United Nations has no authority to acknowledge territorial claims if the territorial claims are in dispute. The United Nations can only ratify distribution of land if the countries are in agreement that the territory should be divided up that way. So it looks like multilateral negotiations are precluded. It looks like international organizations have largely been squeezed out, and continues to insist that only negotiations will be available to the countries trying to deal with these disputes. So how dangerous is all this? What does it look like the potential for war might be regarding the Spratly Islands and the South China Sea? What strikes me, looking at this situation, that if we take Stephen Van Evere's argument seriously, and if we follow Stephen Van Evere's line of argument that war is more likely to erupt if offensive weapons, offensive strategies have an advantage in any given situation, then the Spratly Islands dispute looks troubling. The Spratly Islands dispute looks pretty dangerous because it does look like the states of East Asia are concentrating their armed forces on the kind of weapon systems that might be used to attack rather than weapon systems that would be most useful to defend. Looks like all of these countries are building up strike weapons rather than protect weapons in their arsenals. Since the mid-1980s, China in particular has devoted a larger and larger percentage of its military spending to the Navy. The Chinese Navy, Chinese warships have been the major part of Chinese military spending. China has built 2 new classes of missile frigates, small mobile ships that are quite maneuverable and quite fast. The Chinese Navy has been buying destroyers from Russia, once again built with small warships that can duck in and out of the islands and reefs in the area. And as we talked about at the very beginning of this course, China has adopted this new strategic posture as well. China not only has the weapons that strike armed forces must have, but China has also revised its military doctrine and adopted this doctrine of offshore active defense. The Chinese are no longer willing, they're no longer committed to sit and wait, no longer committed to sit to see what happens in regional affairs. Offshore active defense means that the Chinese forces are preparing to move out from Chinese territory, to expand the amount of territory that's a buffer zone between any potential threat and the Chinese mainland. That strikes me as being a more or less offensively-oriented strategy. Malaysia has also built up its navy in the 1990s and early 2000s. Malaysia in 1988 signed the largest arms deal in Malaysian history to buy 3 modern missile frigates from the United Kingdom. Malaysia went to Britain for its naval forces, and Malaysia went back to Britain, along with several other countries, in 1994 to buy 27 fast patrol boats to build up Malaysia's naval forces. In 1995, the Malaysian Navy purchased 4 missile corvettes from Italy as well. This is kind of mysterious part of contemporary world affairs to me. In the good old days, one sort of knew what the difference was between a destroyer and a frigate. But now these days, there are frigates and destroyers and corvettes and fast patrol boats, and they look more or less similar to one another. So we have to be kind of careful what these terms mean. In 1991, Malaysia took steps to build up. In 1991, Indonesia took steps to build up the Indonesian Navy as well. And like China, Indonesia went to the former Soviet bloc. Indonesia picked up in 1991 39 small warships from the Navy of the former Eastern. Indonesia decided to pick up its surplus warships from the Democratic People's Republic of Germany. 1996, Thailand entered the naval arms race in the region. In 1996, Thailand ordered a helicopter carrier from Spain. The Thais picked up a surplus Spanish helicopter carrier and immediately equipped this aircraft carrier with first-rate, top-of-the-line, vertical takeoff jets constructed in the United Kingdom, so-called Harrier jump jets. And Thailand not only bought this helicopter carrier from Spain, Thailand has also purchased 3 modern patrol boats from Australia and 2 frigates from the United States. So all of the governments in the region are building up missile-capable, aircraft-capable warships of one kind or another. None of these military systems has the capacity really to protect territory. All of them have primary capacity to launch destruction rather than shield territory from destruction. The crucial question is, will this military buildup act to deter the countries from striking one another? None of this looks like defense to me in any meaningful way. But the question for us as students of world politics is, can these countries threaten each other with these strike weapons and threaten to retaliate against one another if an attack comes? And so is it possible that stability will be maintained, peace will be maintained, more or less through the threat of retaliation rather than through protection or defense mechanisms per se? So at least if we look at the offense-defense balance in this part of the world, it does look like the potential for the dispute to erupt as military conflict is substantial. I wonder if we think back to Stuart Bremer's analysis, Stuart Bremer's tests of the factors that are correlated with interstate war. Is there anything, if we wanted to go on, if we wanted to when you sit down to write your master's thesis about this part of the world and try to figure out whether anything that quantitative literature tells us might be useful here, is there anything that comes up with that we could use as a starting point to think about the potential reward there? In addition to what kind of weapons there might be, what the mission of those weapons might be, it does look like a kind of arms race is taking shape here. Levels of military spending have gone off the charts among these countries. The amount of resources, the amount of revenue devoted to military spending looks like a classic arms race in this part of the world, and never does show that over time, on the whole, statistically, whenever there's a major arms race, that major arms race tends to spill over and to set the stage for conflict rather than setting the stage for restraint or setting the stage for mutual scaredness that will lead states to back away from conflict.
I can't remember if it was Springer or not, but I know we talked before about liberal democracies are much less likely.
Excellent. Where could we begin? Suppose we actually wanted to do a research project here. We would want to know what the status of these countries might be with regard to being liberal democracies or not. Any preliminary thoughts?
Well,
This drags us into domestic politics, so I don't expect us to pursue this very much in this course, but what does every school child know?
China's not.
China's not a liberal democracy. Every school child knows that there's at least one major player in this conflict that's not a liberal democracy. It seems like bad news. Anything else? Anything else we might notice about these countries? We want to know whether the other states in the region, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam, are liberal democracies or not. Our informed guess is that Vietnam liberal democracy, not a liberal democracy.
Divided?
Sorry?
It's like divided because like there's when you go like you can go visit Vietnam and people are like, oh, America, but then I don't know, there's like other parts where they're not.
That's very important comment, and I think that's probably dead right, which is that if Americans show up, they're welcome. People are happy to see Americans. But on the whole, after Vietnam gets unified in 1975, which side wins?
The other
Republican
side.
side or the non-liberal democracy side? The non-liberal democracy side. So I think our informed guess is that Vietnam's not a liberal democracy either. Now, a longer exploration of Vietnamese politics might tell us that if there were some spectrum, some dimension of liberal democracy, of authoritarianness, that probably the People's Republic of China is more on the authoritarianism end, and Vietnam is a little less on the authoritarianism end right at the moment. There have been some steps toward political liberalization. There have been some steps toward the parliament, the People's Assembly having some role in policymaking and so on. But there aren't elections. There's not a constitution. There's not the kind of political arrangements that we see in liberal democracies in either one of these countries. So not only is China not a liberal democracy, Vietnam probably isn't either. Things look a little brighter for the other countries. Philippines, pretty much liberal democracy. Malaysia, pretty much liberal democracy. Singapore, not so much, but not a communist regime either. So it's a mixed bag. Right? There would be a subtle story here. We can't sort of say it's black and white about liberal democracies versus authoritarianism. But it does look dangerous. We don't have a collection of liberal democracies here. This is not a territorial dispute between Norway, the UK, and Belgium. This is a territorial dispute among countries that Bremer says do have a high potential for resorting to force. Excellent. So we might well write a useful master's thesis about the dynamics of democracy and warfare in this part of the world. Anything else? Any other finding? Please.
This is not from the article from today, but we have been talking a lot about how countries that can border a lot of other
Excellent.
countries.
Good.
So since all of them are so close together.
Good. What do you make of this? Well, there's some nuances here too. What is your thinking? So does this look like a part of Bremer says countries that are contiguous, countries that are close to each other, especially that share a border, much more likely to go to war? What do you make of that?
Well, for instance, with this, with say China, with Super, like they would, or China would see Malaysia, the Philippines, all of these different countries as a source of conflict potentially. And because these islands are so small and so clustered together, it might as well be bordering.
Fascinating. I like that phrase. Do you think that in this, look at the map, I mean, China in some respects is a long way from Malaysia. But are we tempted to say China may as well be a neighbor of Malaysia? Vietnam may as well be a neighbor of Malaysia. It's a tricky thing. We have to think this through a bit.
Well, I think that in the sense that they all look at the Spratly Islands as potential buffer zones, they're potential buffer zones whose borders would be very close to each other. But I think it's interesting because in one of the readings for today, it said that the China and the Philippines, before all of these disagreements over Mr. Reef, didn't really have a history of problems with each other. That's kind of it says before that, it was kind of like it was that issue that set up the really big chain of these, a lot of
That's
these.
how long before.
Yeah.
For war, maybe not so much, but if we go back to the 17th, 18th century.
So I think that's also kind of interesting.
Now, note China and Vietnam do share a border, right? So we want to these two contiguous countries. There's not much question about it. But notice, I'm struck by your comments, your thoughtful comments, that we might say there's no country between China and Malaysia. I mean, there's a lot of water, but there's no country that China and Malaysia would have to work around. So in that sense, they neighbor each other. Certainly, if China's territorial claim really goes all the way out to the wonderful 9-dash line that China does claim, this line that dips all the way down into the South China Sea, then China's territory comes pretty close to neighboring states. And I'm tempted to say that these countries are contiguous, but they're not quite contiguous the way France and Belgium and Germany are, all meeting at one point. So we would have to think about how the dynamics of being close together, how the dynamics of sharing a border zone might utilize the resilience of force in this case. I think that would be a wonderful master thesis to write. Anything else? Please.
The disparity
power.
Any thoughts about that? What did Bremer come up with in the end?
Bremer come up with that the war is more likely to happen when there's a disparity in power between countries. So in this example, we see that China is definitely a bigger power.
I'm sorry, war is more likely when, under what circumstances?
More likely to happen when there's a disparity in power.
When there is this. Is that what Bremer is? That Bremer's? I think Bremer's statistics show that it's when the gap starts to be closed that as countries approach each other. I think Bremer's data show that if there's a good deal of disparity in power, the weak country capitulates, the weaker country caves in, the stronger country gets its way rather than war breaking in. But I promise to check my memory on this. But one way or the other, what do you make of the power dynamics here? How does it look like the power dynamics? Now we're tempted to say that the power dynamics are pretty clear, that there's one 600-pound gorilla in the room, and there's a bunch of running around, tiny lemurs. Sounds right. There's a bunch of little tiny countries scurrying around in the shadow of China. Would it be fair to say? Please.
Oh, I'm going to argue I was late for that situation in conjunction with Bremer's conclusion that the likelihood of war in allied dyads about 5 times greater than that.
Okay, hang on. Let's talk about this region. Talk about power disparities for one quick second. So we have a situation here where there's one really, really powerful, strong country and a bunch of much weaker countries. Is that a fair way to characterize what's going on here?
Well, I think it becomes interesting at this point that China only wants to pursue bilateral talks, right? And so like potentially ASEAN could be like a more power, like a collective power that could equal China's power. But the fact that China is only kind of willing to go about the problem in a bilateral context makes it so that China automatically becomes the more powerful.
Very interesting. It sounds like a start of a Chinese strategy to be sure that China always is in a predominant position. That China always faces these smaller countries one-on-one, rather than any chance that China's the party on the other side of the table might be anywhere close to Chinese capability. I don't know. What strikes me is that yes, of course, all these countries are smaller, all these countries are poorer. That's not fair. All these countries are smaller, have smaller armed forces than China does. But if we look at the number of sophisticated jet aircraft in these countries' arsenal, the number of sophisticated Italian-built corvettes in each country's arsenal, and so on, it's not clear to me that China, that was clearly stronger than all the others in 1965, is there any way that even Vietnam, even the Philippines are starting somehow to match the capacities of China over the last few years? It strikes me that there's a trend toward decreasing power disparity in this part of the world, although that on which countries will win. In South China Sea, we would surely let the fun on people's republic. Thanks very much for the paper. The papers M through Z, A through N.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Of course.
different